right, so got the training sessions here from Wednesday, Thursday, and then today, Friday. So Wednesday's volume deadlifts. That's RDLs for me. 3 sets of 10 with 80% of my starting weight for the intensity deadlift. So this is 425. I started with 530 for the intensity deadlift. This actually felt really crappy when I was doing it. Like, it felt super heavy, but it actually moved real well. This is a form check angle. So I've gotten a lot of shit for my RDLs in the past from YouTube comments. The one is people say I don't go far enough. Well, I'm pushing my butt back as far as I can, you can tell, and I am as close to parallel as I can get with my back to the floor. So you can tell that to my hamstrings that are still sore from this. And I'm coming, this is after my freaking squat session on today, my intensity squat session. So still beat up. The pump didn't even make it go away. And the other thing is, I get shit from my brother. He says I round my upper back too much. It's like, if I wanted to work my upper back, I'm just going to do shrugs, which I do on my intensity deadlift days. And about every muscle in my upper back that could be engaged in an RDL is beat the fuck up. So I'm not too sure what more is wanted. This is yesterday, volume overhead press, 3 sets of 5 with 227. Yeah, that's a 1 pound plates on either side with the 2. I think I brought my grip in a bit too much on the first and second set because I was like catching the weight a little bit away from my collarbones and it was just being supported by my arms, which does not feel good. And it was like feeling pretty difficult to touch my chest. And it's like, I've been doing the pull-ups, a lot more. So my biceps have probably grown a little bit because I wasn't really working them too much, but this set felt a lot better. I widened my grip just a bit. I think it's actually a PR for 3 sets of 5. So I'm really happy with that. And I definitely will have 229 next week. And this is just like the light day for pull-ups. So I added another set of 10. Last week it was 5 sets of 10. This time it was 6 sets of 10. Not really much rest break. Like, I'd pretty much just go turn the camera off and then bust out another set of 10. So good, I still feel these for sure. My back's beat up from, RDLs, but then there's a new soreness in my lats from the pull-ups. So, these are worth it. This is just the last 4 sets. Watch this one here. Probably swinging a bit too much. Ready. Wait for this. Whoa! On the 9th rep. And put it back up and do the 10th. A little bit too much swinging, like trying to pull that bar too aggressively, and that freaked the hell out of me for this set. So I literally, like, you can see I keep like looking over there a little bit. And then when you wait till this like last rep, when I felt it pull a little bit, I go and look to make sure I'm safe, and then I pull the last rep. I got to make sure it doesn't happen with my intensity pull-ups. That would suck with like over 100 pounds on Sunday. That can't happen. And this is today, 5:06 for 5. See, I said on in Tuesday's car talk after Monday's session, and I was pretty worried about this, but I just dug really, really deep for this set, got pretty fired up, and I think I killed it. Like, once I got to 3, I was like, oh man, like, you got this. Like, I was honestly worried that I wasn't going to get 5, and I was like, man, I don't, imagine I failed this and then I failed the bench too. That would be terrible. But once I got 3 reps, I was like, shit, you got the last 2. Like, pretty happy, honestly. And then, I'm going to tweak the volume on squat. I'll talk about that in the car talk. But, yeah, I'm happy with that. Got my confidence back on the squat. And then here's 317.5 on bench, 2.5 pound jumps. I was a little worried about this too because that 5x5 was pretty hard, but I slept pretty well last night. Ate well this morning before my session, and then that was honestly easier than the 315. All right, car talk on a fun Friday again. Great intensity day today. Hit the squat goal, hit the bench goal. Honestly, was a bit worried about both, considering that I struggled with the volume on Monday and Tuesday, but yeah, I'm really, really happy with how they went. So as far as the squat volume's gonna go moving forward, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do ascending sets of 5 with weight. So this will actually cut like the total overall, I guess, tonnage of the workout down a bit, but it's probably going to kind of moderate where exactly like the average weight moved was to more conservative place, and that's fine. Because Monday was just, I obviously, like I said, I felt like crap, and I kind of tried to like sandbag the workout, and it caught up with me. But I just don't know that doing sets of 5 with that high of a percentage of my 1RM is going to be sustainable moving forward. So I think what I'll do is I'll do ascending sets. I'll add like 5% each time. So I'm going to do 4 sets of 5. Maybe it's 75, 80, 85, 90 or something like that, and then that, those first couple sets probably won't be too difficult, but that last one will be quality weight under fatigue, and that's pretty good. That's just an idea to kind of cut back on the overall I guess like sheer volume, sheer amount of weight moved, and kind of help with recovery. That's a lot of weight to move and then turn around and have the volume deadlift day in 48 hours. Obviously, that's at the beginning of the week, and then the day to hit a new 5RM, the intensity day, isn't until the end. So it's plenty of time to recover, but I think that this is probably like a better bet to get in more quality sets, just dropping that weight down a little bit. Got the idea from, I know nobody's watching this is probably gonna know what the hell I'm talking about, but there's a website that was a blog in the early 2010s. It's called 70s Big. 70S Big. It's still up. You can find, it's a little bit difficult to navigate, but there's some good articles there by a couple of the guys. It was like a training crew of guys. It was this guy, Justin, I think the way he pronounced his last name is Lasik. He was kind of the main author of the site, but they all, I know that Justin in particular was kind of like buddies with Rippetoe, a little bit. Like, he has footage of him training at Wichita Falls, and Rippetoe's in a couple of his videos. He has videos where he just is talking to Rippetoe and he's filming him. And so these guys, they ran Texas Method. They ran the shit out of Texas Method until they got to a similar strength level to myself now. Some of them actually a bit stronger than me. And then they released this kind of like ebook, Texas Method Advanced, where they kind of split up the, not split up, I guess, kind of break away from just like that general 3-day model, and they offer splits, upper day, lower day, which I know that, you can find some actual stuff, starting strength, talking about this as well, but they broke it into 4 days and offered different ways of combating the volume and intensity for a stronger lifter who likely isn't going to recover from that in the same way that a weaker, more, the Texas method isn't for novices, but it's for early intermediates. It's the program that you're meant to follow once you've kind of run the LP for enough time to kind of plateau with it. So they had a lot of success with it, and one of the things they offered for cutting back on the overall volume for a big squatter and big bencher, I think it was actually offered more so for the squat than the bench, but was just ascending sets of 5. So that's something that I will incorporate into my training. I've done ascending sets a couple times before. I think that I haven't done it in a while. The recent one I did like sets of 3 from like 4:35 to 5:15. And I remember felt like that session felt really good, and the confidence of being able to do 5:15 for a triple after accumulating all the fatigue from the 3 or 4 sets leading up to that did well for my confidence. So that's something that I will be incorporating moving forward with this kind of program, or this template, whatever you want to call it. It's my own thing. I do what I want. Got the intensity deadlift day tomorrow. I'm repeating that workout, so it's going to be 5:30 again. Better fucking pull it for 5, if not 6 reps. Even more, because that's been pretty frustrating. The deadlift has not been the year of the deadlift. 5:45 for 5, and it's all been downhill from there, which I know was only like 2-ish months ago at this point, so like, how much can you really complain? Whatever. But everything else has been doing really great so far. We're almost halfway through the year now. Bench has gone real well, squat's gone exceptionally well, and deadlift's just kind of stayed stagnant. So gotta get the deadlift moving. My plan with the deadlift going forward is, I think what I want to do is I'll make 5-pound jumps up to 550. So 4 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks up to 550. Need to hit 550 for 5. 5 extra pounds. New 5 RM. And I'll be pretty happy with that. And then what I want to do to kind of tweak the program after that is, my thinking is that having, the deadlift day immediately follow the intensity squat day. And this is an issue that you'll run into even if you actually like run a true layout of the Texas method that was outlined by Ripito. The true method, or a variation of it, is that at some point those kind of heavy 5s on the deadlift and the heavy 5s on the squat are going to have, some, what's the word I'm looking, they're going to conflict with one another. So at some point you're going to perform well on the squat at the expense of the deadlift, or you're going to do well on the deadlift at expense of the squat. So once I hit that PR and my deadlift is at what I would assume to be peak strength again, is I'm going to kind of play with different kind of variations for the intensity day. I think what I want to do, I was thinking about this during my training day today, is I'm going to keep the RDLs in. That's going to be consistent. I'm just going to progress with RDLs as normal. But with like the intensity deadlift day, I was thinking about maybe doing something along the lines of a progressive range of motion. Is that what it's called? And for, it might be something like rack pulls, and then I'll start on like a certain peg, and then I'll move it down every week. So pull like a set of 5 or something, and then I'll put it down a peg, and I'll take the same weight, and I'll try to pull for a set of 5 or whatever, and down another peg, and see what I can do. Same weight, lower a peg, same weight, see what I can do, and then it'll be from the floor, and I'll see what I can do, and then you just kind of restart. That's a good idea that I had for the deadlift, because you just trying to constantly progress with like sets of 5 on the deadlift from the floor, which is like the most aggressive variation that you can get, I think is going to either be fatigued at the expense of my squats, or start being fatiguing at the expense of my squats. Because you also have to remember that the volume day for squats, Saturday's intensity for deadlift, Monday's volume for squats. So it may screw with my squats in the form of the volume day, or the intensity of the squats may start screwing with the deadlift on the intensity day. So I'm not sure which will come first, but that's something that I want to overall avoid. Anyway, kind of conclude it there, and I will be back on Tuesday.